All right, 14.4. We are last 2 weeks of the Open. You should be finding out a lot about yourself, kind of seeing how you were training last year or through the year. Don't get frustrated if it wasn't a good year or the Open didn't go well for you. Just stay consistent, learn what your weaknesses were, and attack those during the year. And that's truly what CrossFit's all about, is working on your weaknesses, developing your strengths, and developing those weaknesses into an overall better athlete. So don't get frustrated with it. 14.4 is a great workout, great chipper. We knew it was coming, we heard it was coming, we felt it was coming. However, the one thing that they did to us was they gave us 5 exercises when normally they've been giving us 3 exercises. I assumed they would give us 4. This would be the first year we get a 4 exercise chipper, but Zang CrossFit did it to us, and now we have a 5 exercise chipper. With the 5 exercises, we have a 60 calorie row, we have 50 toes to bar, 40 wall balls, 30 cleans, and then 20 muscle ups. When we start looking at this and kind of the breakdown of it, to me it really comes down to the individual athlete and what really their goal is. If I'm a beginner and I'm really having a problem with those toes to bars, my goal is really just to get out of the toes to bars and maybe get into the wall balls and complete the wall balls. For others, it's going to be just to complete the cleans. But I'm going to give a general beginner goal, and is to get to the clean, get 1 to 30 cleans. So if you're a beginner, anywhere from 1 day of CrossFit to 90 days or even up to 6 months, maybe even a year, our goal is to get to 1 to 30 cleans. All right. Now, you kids that are looking to go to regionals and getting yourself on the other side there, I feel like it's going to have to be above 20 muscle ups for the males and above 15 muscle ups for the females. So I feel like the males got to get back on that rower and pull a couple times, and I feel like the females got to get above 15 muscle ups to be safe. I mean, you can probably get 5 to 10 muscle ups and drop some points here and there. You're not going to, hopefully you wouldn't get outside of 100. Same thing with your males. If you're getting 15 muscle ups, it might be close though. I really, to ensure a good position, I do feel like females need to get 15 muscle ups and males need to get back to that rower. Then for us intermediate kids, your guys' goal is really just maybe 1 muscle up or 5 of them. 10's a lot, if this is just your workouts in your wheelhouse, not that heavy of a clean, you got a good motor, then yeah, 5 to 10 is a great number for your muscle ups. And then when we're looking at this, and it's going to be, let's say it's your first time ever to do a muscle up, the biggest thing here is, can you get done with all this work and leave yourself enough time to attempt 1 or 3 muscle ups and get a good attempt at it? So what I'm saying by that is getting done with your cleans, giving yourself almost 4 minutes of rest, but 1 minute of rest or 2 minutes of rest, 4 minutes of total time to be able to accomplish this muscle up. You guys that don't have the muscle up, it's going to be an interesting thing to see if you can come off of that clean and sit on your hands for 60 seconds, 120 seconds, 2 minutes. It's going to be tough for a lot of you guys. That's going to ensure though that you are successful in your muscle up. So don't rush it out of there. Even you high level kids, when you're coming off of the clean, I highly recommend you immediately go to single, just 1 muscle up, and then start building on that. And we'll talk about that in a second. The calorie row, we looked at it, and the breakdown for the calorie roughly is what we're saying is about 1,100, I would say maybe even 1,150 to about 1,250, maybe 1,300 calories per hour. And that's going to be roughly about a 150 or a little over a 150 for a 500 meter pace. The females, same idea here. We got a 2-minute 500 meter pace, and we're looking at about 950, 980. I would say it's higher than that. Remember, with the rower, the higher the wattage, the more you're going in this sense, because you're going to take out more calories. So the lower the wattage, the further the meters you're going to have to row to get that same type of output. So the calorie measurement is a great measurement. However, one thing I would not recommend is cranking up your dampener. I would not crank up your dampener. This is a grip and also back intensive workout. You're not gonna feel it like the deadlifts, but it is definitely an upper back workout. So if you crank up that dampener just to try to get off that rower, it's just not gonna be beneficial for you. And if you have any type of experience with rowing, you know that heavy dampener not necessarily is always the case. So when we look at that, and we're looking at somewhere around 12 to 14 calories every 30 seconds, and that's gonna give you about a 2:30 to 3-minute time. You boys gotta get done with this rower around 2:30. You ladies can get done with the rower around 3. We have a running time on this right-hand column. We got some incorrect math here. I'm just gonna go ahead and make that happen right now. And then we're gonna fix this a little bit. So when we look at this, we're gonna be doing 50 toes to bars. The toes to bars, it's 10 every 30 seconds. So again, I don't care what type of ladder you use. This is just the mathematics of what you need to get done. I'm looking at this whole thing as almost like a 3-mile race. 3-mile race is the goal in high school to get a scholarship is sub 15 minutes. So we want these kids to come out and run their first mile at somewhere around 4:30. They try to hold on to that by 10 or 15 seconds, and then they lose it another 10 or 15 seconds. Others come out a little slower. They start out or just under 5 minutes. They speed up in the second mile, and that actually sustains them into the third mile. I kind of feel like that's more of a strategy for this workout, where this is the first mile, the calories and the toes to bar. The second mile, where we're going to speed it up, is the wall balls and the cleans. And the last mile is the 20 muscle ups. So let's look back at this. So when we're looking at the toes to bars, I highly recommend, I highly do not recommend that nobody does this 5x10. That's monstrous. I find that I challenged some kids and I said I didn't have any that could do that. They did that and they actually you could tell they really slowed down at the cleans and the muscle ups, where I felt like they shouldn't have done that. But as a coach and an athlete, I really wanted to see, I wanted to put the challenge out there, and some of them actually tried it. I told them not to, but you know how kids are. I highly recommend this 10x5. It's a quick way out. It's an easy way out. It's not going to be a lot of work. I do like the 3s. If you're able to work 3, turn around 3. That's the other thing too. On the bar, when you're working on your toes to bar, every time you drop, take a step through the bar, turn around, get back on the bar. Know that if I do not, if I back up, it's very easy for me to sit there on the wall for a while. So when I drop, just walk through the bar, turn back around, back on. That gives you enough time. That is a great indicator of where your time is in space. So that's a great way of getting on, back on, getting off, back on. There's other ladders too. We're posting them online, big ladders, medium ladders, and small ladders. So a smaller ladder has bigger numbers. A bigger ladder has smaller numbers and more sets. These are just recommended ladders, but a good understanding of how to use a ladder would be, on these toes to bars, I told the athletes for a small ladder would be 8-8, 7-7, 6-6, 4-4. And when they're going through that, if they get to their second set of 8 and they come off, they step through, they turn around, and they get back on and they start going, and they feel like 8's going to be easy for them, they might as well do 8 instead of 7. They come off that, they turn around, and now they know their body, and now they're going to do 3 sets of 7. So that way that puts them at a better spot to hit that 45 and then do one more set of 5. So that's more transitioning, more self-awareness inside the workout. That's very crucial even for you beginners. The sooner you start learning where you're at in space and where you're at in a workout, the better you become. So don't just go through there willy-nilly and closing your eyes and running, all right? From there, the wall balls. The wall balls, again, it's 10 reps every 30 seconds. It's kind of where we're at. The mark is for these exercises is 10 reps every 30 seconds. We're looking at the wall ball of a ladder of somewhere around 20, 15, and 10. And as I was pointing out, obviously that's more than 40, but you're welcome. You won't have to do the extra 5. But for the sake of argument, so it doesn't blow your mind, we will actually put some numbers in here that don't really make sense. But I challenge you to go 17, 13, and 10. Try to only do 3 sets. And if you have to, go to 4 sets. And at the least, or at the most, if you will, only 5 sets, all right? Most of us, even beginners, should be able to do 5x8 wall balls. And if you come to my gym, I always make women throw 16-pound ball, because I don't really feel like the 14 scales evenly. When we go down and we look at the cleans, we're looking at 1 rep every 5 seconds. That's 6 reps every 30 seconds. So here's a little different. That will allow you to do singles. I think some of you guys that have a good grip and it's not going to affect you, you could play with the 10x3. I don't think you need to do a 10x3. I mean, you could do 5x3, 5x2, 5x1, 30x1. I think you can get rid of the first 20 or 15 or 10, somewhere in there, by doing doubles or triples and then going to singles. But you have plenty of time here. Now, when we correlate this to a brace time, right? Clean and jerk, 90 seconds, maybe 95 seconds for 30 clean and jerks at 135. I'm telling you, I'm giving you 2.5 minutes to do that. I mean, really, 30 singles is only gonna take you about 2 minutes, maybe 1:45. So, because there's no jerk, you're just doing that power clean. It's gonna cut out a lot of time. So don't be shy on that to save your grip, or as you're transitioning back to the muscle up, to save your grip, so go to singles. And trust me, I'm not a guy that likes mentally doing singles, but a good way to do it is when I clean it, I drop it, 1-2 bounce, and I'm back on it. Obviously, you're not gonna catch it off the bounce, but within 2 bounce, by the time you get down there, that bar should be stuck to the ground. We're finding that the 25s, maybe the road 25s or the functionals or the high temps, they might be bouncing on you a little bit. You might want to try a female bar and 2 15s. They seem to be sitting a little bit better, and I'll put that in my tips video. On the muscle ups, again, start with 1 rep, walk over there, chalk up, get 1 rep, get off there, and then step back, get up there again, give me 2, start making the transition. Okay, I can do 3. I get the 3. I don't really think you need to do more than that. I'd rather you sustain 3 with minimal amount of rest, so that would be better. But again, if you got to do 1, 2, 1, 2, that's a good rep scheme as well, or just singles. This is a great spot to know that I got to keep moving. And when we're looking at that, I broke it down online where you're going to have anywhere between 1 rep every 9 seconds or 1 rep up to 20 seconds. And then it'll tell you roughly where your goal time is going to be, okay? So again, remember, you beginners, it might be your first PR muscle up today or on Saturday or sometime doing this workout. Just be safe. Know that this is a great environment to get it. You got your friends, you got your family, you got everybody around you encouraging you, wanting you to succeed. So this is a great time. It also tells us too that if your goal is CrossFit and I don't have a muscle up, then it needs to start happening. You need to start working on it. Same thing with if my goal is to be able to handle this type of work capacity. How much work am I getting done in that minimal amount of time, you know? So then when I start training, I need to start focusing my mindset in that too, you know? I might think I'm going intense, but in reality, now when you start looking at these type of standards and you think about, oh, I gotta get 150, 130, I gotta get 200 reps inside of, right? Man, where's my math gone there? Yeah, 200 reps inside of that 14 minutes. You know, that's a lot of work in a minimal amount of time. So, you know, stay focused, work on it, pick what works best for you as an athlete, and good luck, have fun.